Hi computer scientists, this is Samuel Stafford with Bora High School and the Boise Onramp community. I joined the Apple Onramp program in the summer of 2019. I was given little information as to what the program entailed other than I would attend a week-long professional development that involved learning Apple's programming language Swift and how to use Apple devices in the classroom. I did not expect to have my philosophy of education and pedagogical practices challenges and pushed so drastically. During the Summer Academy, we were given the opportunity to hear from 3 Boise community leaders. Each of these leaders had a challenge that they posed to the elementary, middle, and high school teachers in attendance. We were asked to come up with a prototype of an app to help solve their problem. I had never used Mac or programmed in Swift before that week. Given an opportunity to help solve real-world and potentially life-altering problems for someone else helped eliminate the roadblocks I would normally put in front of myself. I worked in a team with other teachers to come up with viable solutions to the problem using the tools we were presented with. My team and I came up with an app prototype that we are extremely proud of. The amount of pride and dedication I took in the project was facilitated by the Onramp program and charged me with bringing challenge-based learning back to my own classroom. I've used project-based learning in my classroom and understood the advantages of having students work in teams to solve large problems. Challenge-based learning opened my eyes to the power of agency in education. I wanted to be able to provide my students with an experience that would provide them with a sense of agency by giving them a tailored opportunity to impact their school and potentially their school culture. I wanted this experience to be relevant to their time at Bora and tied to a project that allows them to demonstrate their compassion and character. I mirrored my experience at the Summer Onramp week with my students. I had my students hear from school support staff, then develop an app to assist them. I invited the head nurse, head custodian, and head food and nutrition specialist to come and speak to my students. I prompted the guests to tell my students what the largest headache was that they have at their job. This is particularly exciting for my students because they were able to ask clarification questions to the guests when they were done speaking. Once we heard from our guests, our project fell into several stages. The first stage was to identify the problem for each individual. The second was to determine supporting questions to help aid in solving problems. Third was create a survey with the supporting questions that students had their peers and their support staff fill out. Fourth was to develop programming skills that would enable them to ultimately create the app. Fifth was to develop prototype of their apps in Keynote. And sixth and finally, to develop their app. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, my students and my time was unfortunately cut short. Each group developed outstanding prototypes using Keynote, but were not provided enough time to implement their designs in Xcode. I still feel my students were provided with the heart of the project. They were able to put a face and a name to some of the support staff that are instrumental in keeping Bora High School running. They learned user interface and user experience design, along with fundamental programming knowledge, with genuine curiosity, compassion, and agency as the vehicle. Throughout the process of challenge-based learning, I have learned to engage my students in their school and community, and vice versa. Not only do students want to have an impact on their surroundings, but my colleagues, who do not spend their days in the classroom, do want to support students and improve student experience. I used to think that since I was the only computer science teacher in my school, I was working in isolation. And now, using challenge-based learning, I think the relationships and connections within my school are not only simple to facilitate, but necessary to foster.